Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome to my no-damage run of the new level from the Sane Trilogy, Future Tense. As you can see, it is labeled as level 31, even though that should be the number for hot cocoa, but whatever. This is a follow-up video to my blind run of this level, and if you didn't see that, I'll be sure to include a link to that. But for now, here comes the no-damage run of Future Tense. Hoo boy, what a level this is going to be. So, right off the bat, there's going to be some boxes just off screen here. Make sure you go and get those before you move forward. It can be pretty easy to wind up forgetting about those, especially if you wind up respawning back at the beginning of the level. But, yeah, we're rocking the future theme once again, just like in Gone Tomorrow and Future Frenzy, which is nice because I like these levels. Also, if you shoot the lab assistants that are flying around in the background here, you can, get an achievement on the PlayStation 4 version. No achievements for the Switch version, unfortunately, so you'll just have to shoot them for fun then. But, yeah, we're basically got many of the same enemies and obstacles that we saw in the other future levels, like the sideways moving lasers. But we also have some new ones, like these sideways scrolling platforms, which can make it a little difficult to get around those missiles there. But it's nothing too bad. And we certainly don't have time to try and shoot at that robot, so just run up to him and spin him. But now we're going to head to the left here on top of the elevator, where we will find ourselves 4 extra lives, as well as an exclamation box that somehow we were able to cast a shadow on top of. Yeah, not sure what the deal is with that, but anyway, turn around, go ahead and shoot with your fruit bazooka, and let's move on. That's good. And here we have a turbine that is a reference to a cut waterfall level from Crash 1, which I think is pretty neat. Kind of makes me wonder why they don't just, make a new waterfall level, similar to what they did with Stormy Ascent. But, alas, I'm still happy with what we got here. Okay, so now we're going to have some robots shooting at us from off-screen. Count out 4 missile shots, and then you can move forward safely. There's a long enough gap. But, yeah. In the other versions, you can actually see them in the reflection of the window. And it makes it a little easier to tell when they're going to be shooting at you. And, yeah. Here's the arrow box that got filled in by the exclamation box from earlier, so let's head in this direction and see what we've got going on. Ah, more lasers, of course. We've also got some TNT on top of these green turbines here that we need to take out with the fruit bazooka before we move forward, and then carefully move underneath this one. Okay. Because, yeah. If you just hold left the whole way, you're definitely going to wind up going into that, and that's not going to be good. Now, don't immediately go up here, because this guy's going to be all too happy to try and ram into you. And then just kind of wait for these spikes to retract before you move on up. The escalator here makes this feel a little uncomfortable, but it's not too bad, and it leads us to the death route. Yeah, you have to make it all the way over here without dying, so that's nice. This is also the only death route in the game that does not have a colored gem in it. Now, time your jump very carefully. You pretty much have to be slide jumping towards those lasers during the second shot in order to have enough time to be able to make it across. And then here, just time your jump so that you jump to the next platform as the first one is retracting, and you should be able to make it across. The lab assistants aren't even really a problem there either. And, yeah, once again, we are playing with the no Aku Aku rules, so we're waiting for the invincibility to wear off before we move forward. This robot up ahead isn't going to be too much of an issue. I'll show you in just a second where to stand. Okay. Put your foot right on the line right here, and you'll be at just the right position where he can't hit you with his missiles, but you can hit him with the fruit bazooka. Isn't that nice? Now we just need to go ahead and take these boxes out when the lasers aren't shooting. Alternately, you could just shoot those with the fruit bazooka as well, and honestly, that will be more practical. And speaking of being more practical, just double jump and death tornado spin over those lasers if you don't want to time it. Now, this section here can be a little troublesome. The TNT will take out all the boxes, so just concentrate on hitting the TNT and then bouncing your way across. Sadly, we have to ignore those 1-ups, as tempting as they are. And this section here is a little unsettling. Ugh. Yeah, the missiles here, it's very hard to judge the distance, how far away they are from where you are. It can make hitting things like those boxes or even bouncing on those lab assistants a little, uncomfortable. Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay, so now we have to fight with a somewhat awkward camera angle to try and bounce on this lab assistant here, and then take out this box. Ugh. Okay. Now we'll just... Okay. Yeah, we'll just hit our head against the box. That works out, too. And, yeah. That's the death route. This one is a really tough one, but there we go. But we can't, breathe a sigh of relief just yet. We're not even halfway through the level, if you can believe it. Alright, so now we basically need to work our way backwards. And while we're here, I'll show off a little graphical glitch here. Yeah, if you body slam onto the turbines, it still does that body slamming animation as you spin up, which is kind of funny to look at. Alright, now we can finally move forward with the regular level. But no sooner do we go up the elevator and we have invincibility again, so more waiting. Up ahead we're going to have some escalators and more of those spiked shell enemies, you like that one right there. They're going to be constantly spawning in as we are moving forward, and that's going to make it a little difficult in order to make our way up this path. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Alright, so let's get these bounce crates out of the way first. Now, for the most part, simply jumping over these guys might be the best approach, especially for this part right here. We need to go ahead and get these upper spike enemies out of the way so that we have enough room to be able to jump over the spiked ones, because they are almost always spiked when they come through here. And let's go. Okay. Now we're going to need to go to the upper path for some more boxes. Just waiting for a safe moment. Okay. Whew. Alright. I'm pretty sure it took out the boxes up ahead, but we're going to go on up there just to be sure. You don't have a lot of time to get through here. Case in point, one of these guys could wind up falling on your head, and yeah, here's where the boxes were. So we're all good. And I would just not even bother messing with this thing. I've had a few runs where I accidentally spin it and into that nitro and get out of the way. Thank you. And yeah, it's better off to just leave them alone. Anyway, bonus time. This one can be a little tricky as well, much like the one in Stormy Ascent. But here's a neat little trick. You just body slam, use super body slam to break that first box, and then you can just shoot it to a group. And then you just want to hit that question block, and then you have a small amount of time to be able to get into this room, take out these boxes, and then slide your way out before you get sealed inside by another steel crate. That's a very tough challenge, but you know what? I really approve of it as well. This is a good use of the exclamation box and the TNT crates. And as much as I hate to admit, it's also a pretty clever use of the slot crates to take out those other boxes that are between the steel ones. Because the alternative is to get blown up by the TNT or try to carefully time it with the super body slam. It's a pretty solid challenge, I think. Anyway, let us move on. Carefully take out these boxes. They are dangerously close to those nitros there. Alright, so these steel crates over the pit. You are meant to go straight down them because here we will find an alternate path with some more boxes on them. And don't spin into these boxes here because, yeah, nasty surprise waiting for you in the middle. A nasty surprise that's easier to notice on the PlayStation 4 version due to reflections. I don't need to shoot this nitro box, so I would rather it be out of the way for the return trip. Spin on over here, and we'll find an exclamation box for the upper level. You put those away. Thank you. Alright, making our way back. And we're going to go ahead and go back up here. Take out the other box, and let's move forward. Now this box right here that's floating up above, you could just bounce on this enemy and take it out very easily, but in the PlayStation 4 version, that's actually moved just off screen here. You can see it in the reflection, and the way you have to take it out is to spin this enemy into it like so. It's easier than it might look or sound. And here's the green exclamation box that got filled in by that exclamation box from just earlier. So this level pretty much marks the second instance in which a nitro detonator is filled in by an exclamation box, the first one being a ghost town back in Crash Wrath of Cortex. And yeah, that lab assistant right there, you could very easily wind up bouncing straight into from that bounce crate down there if you were holding the jump button. Bit of a nasty trap, that one. So just do a regular bounce and then double jump up there to get the one up. And up ahead, we're going to have more missiles being shot from off screen and those timed flip platforms, and these are really troublesome. Getting the timing right on this is a bit hard. Pretty much just waiting for an ideal time to jump across here. I think it might be coming up here. Here we go. And double jump, death tornado spin, and we are through. That part is very uncomfortable. But that's the last checkpoint crate, and honestly, I find this last part of the level to be pretty easy when you know what you need to do, so let's hope we can hold it together. Mainly it's just more of these turbine platforms, a few enemies here and there, and this is pretty much the only box in this last part of the level. Just need to get the enemies out of the way, bounce on this box, and now we can go forward. Just a couple more enemies, and there we go! That's both gems collected. We are done! Yes! Just going to casually walk to the orb and call it a day. At last, future tense, no damage, is complete. I gotta tell you guys, this level was harder than I ever imagined that it would be. Definitely the hardest platforming level in Crash 3, by far, because most of the levels in Crash 3 were actually pretty easy, I find. But, this was something else. But you know what? It was a good kind of challenge. I didn't feel like it was unfair. But it did have quite a few outtakes, and we're going to be seeing those in just a moment. All the same, I'm grateful for the new content, so thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look at those outtakes, and I shall see you next time. A cut level from Crash 1. Oh, well, that was dumb. Crash 1 involving a waterfall? I guess these... Need to get a little closer. Too close. Cut waterfall level from the original Crash 1. Which I find kind of interesting. I found that jump kind of interesting. Run across. Oh! That was bad. Be all too happy to try and ram you. Oh. Thought I was a little quicker than that. Don't exactly leave you a lot of room. Oh, that was just badly timed. Now we're gonna have... I slipped. Crash 1, which I think is rather interesting. Excuse me? I don't think that should have counted as touching the nitro. But okay. They were able to put that in. That nitro is very nasty. No such achievement for the Switch version. You'll just have to do it for fun in that instance. Whoa. Yeah, that was... I don't know what to say about that. That was a mistake. Pure and simple. And carefully move under this... Well, a little more careful than that. Don't bother waiting for it to eventually... Platforming's hard. I'm there kind of scrolling around. And I'm going straight into them. So yeah, now we've got some double lasers involved, but if you jump towards it as... a little late there. Halfway through it and then jump across. Little late. Oh! Well, that was a mistake. And also, we didn't have these sideways moving platforms. Oh. So it's nice that they managed to get those in as well. Oh! What just happened? I bounced on the enemy and didn't kill it? What? Rather curious. I was wondering Why didn't they just make a new level based on... Oh. Do a death double jump and death tornado spin to get past. Oh, that was a bad jump. Bad jump. What happened to the music? No, really, what happened? Okay. Eerie. But honestly, if you hit the TNT, what am I doing? Oh, that was reflex, I guess. Don't spin at that point. It's not smart. With scrolling platforms, that can make it a little dangerous to... Yeah. So it makes me wonder why they didn't just make a level based on Crash 1. And you'll see what is... thought I could save it. And as for this part, well, you can bounce on the boxes if you want, but as you can see, that's dangerous. Very difficult to gauge the distance of how far the missiles are from you, so that you get the timing right for this. Case in point, Crash 1, which I think is pretty neat. Excuse me? I don't think I was anywhere near that. But if you don't think you can get through there without falling off, well, never mind. The missiles and their distance are... yeah. So you have to flip these things as a question box and not as a TNT. What did I just say? It really makes things dangerous when you're trying to gauge the distance to get onto these spinning platforms. Oh, jeez, I just went right into them. Oh. Yep, more lasers. More pain. But, yeah, mind the timing. Once again, 4 shots per volley, and then you should be able to get across here without too much... But never mind. Ah, no! Just too slow. Oh, what? Bounce, bounce. Say, oh, no, that did not happen. Oh.